Hey guys! I am going to show y'all how to make a really super cute ghost pendant today. This is what the final product should look like. So I'm just going to get right to work here. What we're going to start with is the head. I kind of do it in different pieces so that we can get it done the most efficiently. I just use a stick of white. Use your favorite white, preferably a white that doesn't boil too easily, but if you work it further back on the flame, you shouldn't have to worry about that too much anyway. So I just round it, and then I'm just going to stick a piece of 3mm to it with a cold seal. And this is probably one of the easiest parts, making a little ghost. It's just making the head. You just pull it and you just organically let it pull off, because they have just kind of a nice little wispy back to their head because they're a ghost. And then you take a little stringer of black, turn down your flame pretty much as small as you can make it go, because these guys have really small faces. And then you just do 2 dots for the eyes and 1 dot for the mouth. They can be a little different in size. It's not too particular because it is a ghost. And then you melt all 3 in at the same time. Just a little bit, just enough to where it's a nice little face. And then all I'm going to do is switch the cold seal on it so I can let it rest in the kiln while we make the body. So you've got your punty on the top of the head so that whenever we're done with the body, we can just stick the head right onto the body. So now, you go back to your stick of white and just melt it back down to a nice rounded edge, because this is going to be the top of your body. Nice and rounded. And we just do another cold seal. And the body's pretty much the same way as the head, except obviously you're making a larger piece. But it's just a nice little teardrop shape. When you pull it off from the stick, you pull it off real gentle and organic, so it's got a nice little ghost wispy tail. I like to pull it back one way and then let it harden, and then hit it with the flame and pull it back the other way. It gives him a cute little zigzaggy wisp. Really cute little ghost body. Then you take a white stringer and you're going to give your ghost little arms. The trick when you're sticking these arms on is that you heat up both pieces of glass, just a little piece of the body and the stringer at the same time when you stick them together, so you get a really nice weld and you don't have to mess with it too much because you're working with really small pieces of glass. a little room on the arms because we're going to give him a nice cute little piece of candy to hold when we're done. I like giving these guys some personality. Everything needs a little something to hold. Our arms outward because whenever you get ready to put that piece of candy in his hands, you need space. So there's our little body. He looks like he's just flying around. Happy little ghost. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the head and just switch that gold seal around. Grab our head out of the kiln and just stick them together. You're going to do the same thing you did with the arms and heat up both sides pretty evenly before you stick them together, because that way you get a really nice weld and you don't get those weird little edges. I stick them together and I pull a little bit, and that gives them a nice little neck. I'm just going to bend him back as he hardens to give him a little curve to his spine. Hopefully break one of these pinkies off. There we go. And now that he's just pretty much a whole ghost here, he's pretty cute. All we have to do is make his little piece of candy and make his veil. And he'll be a pretty cute little pendant. Just in time for Halloween. So whenever I make my candies, it's always off the same concept. I start with a color that I like, which I've got some pink slime, or I've got a nice little old piece of stringer that I had laying around, and the candy is going to be so small that we don't need a lot of glass. So I think I'm just going to use that little scrap, and that way it'll be a little spiral candy because it's a cane. And I'm just going to heat it up and turn it into a little ball. Pull on it to give it a nice spiral, because candies are usually spiraled. Working with pretty tiny pieces of glass here because that candy has to be the right size to fit the size of your ghost. So you're making a pretty tiny piece of glass. I'd say it's about a centimeter is what you need to work with. Once you get it into a nice little ball, you've got spirals on each end. Just reverse the axis. So that when you squish it, it has that little peppermint candy look to it. little tedious, but it really is worth it at the end because these candies are one of the focal points of the pendant. So if you put that extra little bit of work into making it actually look like a cute little piece of candy, it shows. So I'm just going to use my pedal press. Any type of press will work, as long as it's just going to give it a nice even squish. If you don't have presses, you can use tweezers. Just try to make sure you don't get those impressions in it. Got ourselves a nice little flat disc. Looks like a pretty cute little piece of candy at this point. So all we need to do is add the wrapper. And the trick to this is making sure your glass is clean. Otherwise you're going to get a ton of bubbles and it's not going to look like a wrapper. So make sure you wipe off your 3mm before you start working with it. Stick a very small amount, probably just another centimeter's worth of clear glass to your candy. And I like to use my pedal press because it's got points on the end, so I can actually squish it, and then I can pull the edges to make it pointed like a candy wrapper. You just have to do that on both sides. Just use a cold seal. Put on your piece of candy. Making sure I'm using really clean glass to do this candy wrapper. Otherwise it's just not going to look right. It's a cute little, super tiny piece of candy for our little ghost to hold on to. And the trick to getting your ghost to hold on to it is sticking it to one arm first. You're not trying to stick it to both arms at the same time. You just want to stick it to one of his arms. And then you'll just let the arm bend towards it. So I actually heat up the arm that I stuck it to and let it slowly melt towards the other arm. So he's holding it really naturally now. Just as if he's flying around, holding a little piece of candy. And he's done. Now all we have to do is put a clasp on him. That way he can hang. And I'm just going to do a real simple clear clasp. So I just slowly heat up a piece of 3mm and let it just naturally fold into a circle. Just like that. Do another cool seal. you've got an incomplete circle, and I just kind of complete it. I melt it together, make sure the hole doesn't seal up on me. So you're just working real slow. You don't have to rush on the clasp. Where all you end up with is a nice perfect little circle of glass on the end of your putty there. And all you have to do is stick that to your ghost. That's okay. Then you're just going to do the exact same thing. Anytime you're sticking two pieces of glass together, you're heating them up evenly so that when you stick them together, you get a nice clean weld. Stick it, make sure it's nice and straight. Break it off your punty. Always making sure I don't leave any punty marks on the ends where those punties are attached. And we've got a cute little ghost. He is done. So here is our finished ghost pendant. So cute. Somebody is really going to love him just in time for Halloween. And if you are interested in buying one of these little guys, I will post a link in the description. And as always, if you like my video, click that like button. And for more tips and tricks, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much. Have a good one.